Hello. I'm so glad to
Hello.
have you here today. So,
Well, thank you for inviting me. Happy to be here too.
I just want everyone to know that this is my Uncle Dean, and he has been a professional musician forever, and he enjoys composing music and composes music for all of the communities that he has lived in. So, Uncle Dean, can you please tell us a little bit about your background and what it's like to be a musician and a composer?
Well, my background is I've been a musician, like you say, all my life, pretty much. But I also do other things because you can do other things besides being a musician, and you can do all those things at the same time. But I went to college for a long time, got degrees in music, and then went out and performed professionally in places like Las Vegas and Los Angeles for a long time. And started composing actually rather late in life. I just want to say that for your kids, it doesn't matter when you start composing. I mean, you just need to start doing it. And you'll get the skills as you go along. The more skills you get, the better you'll be. So my background is a little different than some people, but now at this stage in my life, I'm basically composing for my own pleasure instead of for other people. And that's a good thing too.
Wonderful. So, when you have your musical ideas, how do you get inspired, or how do you decide what you want to write about?
It depends. There's lots of different ways that that happens. Sometimes you get inspired. You can be walking down the street and have an idea pop in your head and you just hold on to it. And then when you get back into your studio, you start writing. Or you can put in the hard work and you sit in front of your keyboard and you start dinking around and you start playing and something sounds good and you keep it. This is secret to any of this is to just start. Don't wait for the inspiration to happen. Just start. You sit at your piano, you dink around, you'll hear something that sounds good, and you say, oh, I like that. I'm going to keep that. And use your ears. I mean, train your ears to keep listening to what's happening around you. There are composers who, Beethoven, for example, who are inspired by birds. He was out in the woods and he heard some birds singing, and he said, oh, that's an interesting sound. I'm going to put that in my Sixth Symphony. And he did. So you can do that too. Now, the thing about music you have to understand is that it's sequential and it builds upon itself. So once you get one idea, and when I say get an idea, I don't mean that you go buy it or something like that. I mean, where these thoughts come from, where these music ideas come from, is almost irrelevant. They will come to you. You just have to pay attention to when they come to you. But music is sequential. So once you get one idea, there's a process that you can kind of use where, for lack of a better term, I'm going to say you listen to the silence. So you'll know what your first part was, and you'll listen to the silence. And your brain will kind of tell you what comes next. In fact, there might be, Stephanie, there might be an exercise for your kids where you might want to give them 4 bars and then tell each of them to write the next 4 bars, given what those first 4 bars were. Everyone will come up with a different idea, and that's okay because those are coming from your kids' brains. So the idea is just listen to the silences, listen to what should be there. Your brain is figuring this out, so don't worry about it. That's basically how it works for me.
That's so cool. Let's now try to do what he is talking about. I'm going to give you 3 notes. You can use G, A, B, or the second line, the second space, and the third line. And you have these 3 notes that you could use to fill out the rest of the song. So I'm going to give you the question or the beginning of the music, and I want you to hear in your brain what could go in the space. So let's listen to the beginning of the music. Did you hear inside your brain anything that could go into these next two measures? Let's listen again. You could use do, re, mi. You could use any of those. So let's listen again. So I want you to only use quarter notes. So let's come over here to this quarter note and we'll drag it up. And you could put it in the second space or the second line or the third line. But I want you to fill up the other two measures. So let's see what that sounds like. Well, that's one idea, but there are many ideas. So I want you to take those first two measures and I want you to build from that, but you can only use do, re, and mi. So second line, second space, or third line. Okay, let's see how we do.